James, not wanting to argue with Anna anymore, pays for her meal and quickly leaves. When he returns home, he immediately heads to the shower, worried that Kate might smell Anna's perfume on him. However, Kate is sharp and notices his unusual haste, even though James lies, saying he had to take the representatives team from Beijing Park out for dinner and drank a lot. Last time at Miss Hill, Bella left her address when she paid, and after not hearing anything from Kevin, Emma decides to fly to Hong Kong. She goes to the address Bella had left. From a distance, Emma sees Kevin walking hand in hand with Bella, and in that moment, she loses all hope in Kevin. Ginny and Kate visit Emma, deeply concerned as Emma remains silent, not crying or speaking due to the depth of her pain. Kate bluntly tells Emma that she unknowingly became the third person in Kevin and Bella's relationship and that she needs to let go and move on with her life. While it's the truth, the words hurt Emma even more, and she'd have pushed Ginny and Kate out. Before leaving, Kate firmly tells Emma that only she can love herself, so she must find the strength to get through this. When everyone leaves, Emma finally breaks down, overwhelmed by her pain. However, this emotional release helps her able to heal. Kate also takes Emma to the hair salon and her workout class, hoping these activities will bring Emma strength and joy, just as Emma begins to heal. Bella asks to meet up again. Bella reveals that Emma isn't the only woman Kevin has cheated on her with. Bella explains that Kevin always books trips and plane tickets in advance because he knows he always finds a new girl. There's an unspoken agreement between him and Bella. Once he gets bored with a girl, he leaves it to Bella to deal with them and make them leave him. To make matters worse, Emma learns that Kevin owns a house in Shanghai, but he has never invited her there. Instead, he always meets her at hotels. Bella even questions who is more miserable between the two of them. Emma can now move on, but she has been enduring Kevin's fickle nature for over 7 years. Kevin has disappeared again, likely because he's found yet another new girl. Emma, still confused and hurt, can't help but want to confront Kevin one last time. When they meet, Kevin remains unapologetic. He insists he can't leave Bella right away because of their shared assets and businesses. Instead of taking responsibility, he tries to convince Emma to accept being his side chick. Emma, furious, calls him out for his nonsense. But Kevin, dismissive, tells her that she owes everything to him, even the clothes she's wearing were bought by him. In an act of defiance, Emma begins stripping off the clothes to give them back. Kevin watches without stopping her. She hesitates when it comes to her underwear, but a kind waitress lends her some clothes to wear. Emma hands over everything Kevin bought for her, except the bag, which she proudly states she bought herself. Standing strong, Emma tells Kevin that even though she now has nothing, she would rather have nothing than share love with someone else. It's filthy, she says, walking away with her dignity intact. Emma, overwhelmed by heartbreak, heads to a bar and drinks. Kate and Ginny soon join her, and together they have a wild, drunken night. In the middle of it, Kate comes up with an idea to help Emma get a little revenge. She asks Dave to take the car Kevin had gifted Emma and park it directly in front of Kevin's own car without the key, then messes with both cars to make them stink. Kevin, of course, is furious when he discovers the scene the next day. A crowd gathers, pointing, laughing, and recording the entire incident, leaving Kevin humiliated and unable to figure out how to resolve the mess. The next morning, Emma wakes up and takes down all the photos of her and Kevin that were hanging on her wall so that she won't have to see his rat face again. Meanwhile, Anna decides to go all in on her pursuit of James. She resigns from her job at the Beijing Park and makes plans to move to Shanghai, committed to winning him over. After a while, Emma also decides to resign from Miss Hill. Though she tries her best to act like she's fine, deep down, she knows she's far from okay and needs to make a change. One day, Kate meets with a business partner and reminds James to stay home with Henry and not let him go outside because of the flu outbreak. However, Henry really wants to play outside, and James remembers Anna's words that he has to do what his wife wants and feels offended. So, he decides to take Henry out to play as he wishes. That night, they lie to Kate and say they stayed home, but the next morning, Henry is sick. Kate and James take him to the hospital, and during that Anna has arrived in Beijing and sends more selfies to James. James admits to Kate that Henry got sick because he took him outside to play soccer. Kate already knows but isn't angry. Instead, she's happy that James spent time with their son. Kate stays up all night to care for Henry, and he finally breaks his fever. However, when Henry draws, Kate notices he draws UU in his painting. When she asks, he says he saw it during the fireworks in Beijing. James tries to say he meant to write 00 but made a mistake, and Kate doesn't press him further. Still, Kate can't stop thinking about it. which makes her father worry something is wrong. However, he tells her not to worry, saying he is there for her no matter what. Later, shameless Anna shows up at James's company and sends him selfies. James goes downstairs to meet her, and she admits that she quit her job in Beijing to come here and pursue him. Kate gives Alex Emma's address, and he visits her while she is bedrotting at home. He brings food to cook and clean for her, promising to return if she still isn't feeling well. The next day, Emma goes to Alex's cafe, and he takes her grocery shopping for the store, telling her that doing these little tasks will help her feel more grounded. Meanwhile, Ginny gets caught up in a big drama. While checking a mall, she sees a couple yelling at a shoe store employees, claiming they sold them fake shoes. When the woman slaps the employee, Ginny rushes in to help, but it quickly turns into a full-on fight. Before she knows it, people are recording everything on their phones, and it looks like Ginny is the one beating up the couple. Now she's trending online, and her company's reputation is in trouble. To make matters worse, it turns out the shoes were indeed fake, and the crowd turns against Ginny. On the bus ride home, a woman spots Ginny and decides to stick gum in her hair. Jack tries to defend her, but everyone already pulls out their phones to film the scene. At home, things get even crazier when a package with a frog arrives for Ginny. Pete and Dave find it and get rid of it. Pete calls Ginny to warn her not to come home for a few days because someone knows where they live and might pull more stunts. That night, Ginny drinks too much and Jack takes her to stay at Kate's place. Meanwhile, James is moved to sleep with Henry. Bored, he checks Anna's social media and sees that she lost her wallet. James jumps into action and starts messaging her. After learning she doesn't have enough money for her hotel, he asks where she's staying and reminds her to lock her door. Because that's what friends do, right? The next day, Ginny wakes up feeling down. Kate and Emma take care of her, but Ginny notices Pete quickly packing her things. It seems like he wants to avoid the drama. At work, the company considers firing Ginny. Jack steps in and tells them to blame him for not properly checking the quality, which allowed the fake shoes to slip through and be sold in the shopping center. Ginny hears about the news and feels touched by Jack's support. She goes to the garage to see him. Ginny is worried about him, but Jack reassures her that his family is doing more than okay, so she doesn't need to worry. Ginny finally reveals why she is upset. She wanted to be Jack's girlfriend but now feels like she owes him, which makes her uncomfortable. Jack takes the chance to kiss her, and they officially become a couple. Emma and Alex grow closer, which even make the cafe staff getting jealous as she is feeling for Alex. Alex seizes the opportunity to confess his feelings for Emma, but she turns him down. That same day, Kate and her father take the father of James' friend back to his hometown. The old man doesn't want Kate to keep paying for his nursing homestay anymore. While they share an emotional farewell, James is preoccupied with Anna. James buys Anna a plane ticket back to Beijing, but she refuses to leave. She says she gave up everything to be near him. Although James doesn't show it. He's clearly pleased and agrees to let her stay in Shanghai for 2 more days, paying for her hotel in cash to avoid leaving any trace. Anna smiles, knowing she's close to getting him where she wants. Anna's flattery boosts James' confidence. That evening, he skips his usual juice and instead have noodles, even snapping back at Kate when she questions why he came home early and took a bath, telling her to mind her business. The next day, Kate tirelessly searches for distributors for her tea business, but they all reject her, as most are already tied to larger tea brands. Meanwhile, Emma works with a headhunting company to help her find a new job. Unfortunately, the job market is tough, and most of the available positions are entry-level sales roles with salaries much lower than her previous one, barely enough to cover her rent. Ginny still stays at Kate's house and feels guilty about it despite Kate tells her to not worry. She's still bombarded with hate messages from strangers, and even her parents have to stay at a relative's house. Ginny now has a blog where she writes about her experiences as a 30-year-old, divorced woman with no house, and now getting attacked online by strangers. Meanwhile, Pete is determined to seek justice for Ginny. Teaming up with Dave, he sets out to investigate the factory responsible for producing the fake shoes. Dave notices James smiling to himself while looking at his phone, quickly realizing that his boss is likely up to something shady. Dave casually remarks how much he admires James and Kate's relationship and starts trash talking about a friend who cheated on his wife. Feeling called out, James tells Dave to shut up. That evening, James takes out more cash, and when Kate questions why he needs more after already withdrawing some earlier, he lies, saying it's for a business dinner where the restaurant's card machine wasn't working. The next day, James uses that money to pay for Anna's hotel room for another week. Anna invites James to hang out in her hotel room, and he agrees. Just as he's settling in, and Anna is trying to make a move on him, James receives a call from Kate, asking him to pick her up. Ironically, she's at the same hotel after meeting a client. Panicking, James tries to slip out through the back but realizes there isn't a back exit. Thinking fast, he calls Kate to distract her and rushes out the front entrance, jumps into a taxi, and drives around the block before returning, pretending he's just arrived to pick her up. However, Kate still catches a whiff of sweet perfume lingering on him. Ginny's situation finally clears up. It turns out that the couple causing the commotion at the shoe store were part of a larger scheme producing and distributing fake shoes. Their scam involved purchasing authentic shoes from the mall, swapping them for counterfeit pairs, and then making false claims to demand refunds. Dave calls Ginny back home, where she finds Pete injured, having been beaten up by the gang involved in the counterfeit shoe ring. Dave tells her Pete had been investigating the case tirelessly for Ginny's sake, and his efforts uncovered the truth. Ginny, deeply moved, realizes how much Pete had been worried about her. Public opinion quickly shifts in Ginny's favor, and she's reinstated at her job. She wants Jack to return to work as well, but her boss tells her that Jack doesn't want to come back. Jack prefers dating her, and working together would make things too complicated for their new relationship.